traveled to DC with several other Loyola students to participate in the annual Ignation Family Teach-In for social justice. The conference works to unite Jesuit high schools and universities from across the country by educating them on crucial social justice issues such as humane immigration reform, fair minimum wage, and food access. We take time to pray, reflect, and advocate in solidarity. After several speakers, networking sessions, and informative breakout talks, students have the opportunity to lobby on Capitol Hill and meet with their state representatives to speak about these critical issues. I had gone with my high school last year to this conference, but going as an official part of a Jesuit university was a completely different experience. I felt empowered to go out and make a change in the world. But once again, I was caught with the age-old question, how am I going to make a legitimate difference regarding these huge issues that mostly stem from unjust social systems? How do I live and participate in the real world while knowing the society I contribute to is unjust? And how am I supposed to keep a positive, faith-filled outlook on the world when we are surrounded by all this pain, greed, and selfishness? I have found out that the teaching can be incredibly moving and incredibly overwhelming. Last year, my response to this overload of mind-boggling information and extreme Jesuit enthusiasm was a just as high after a couple days at home, and then a low, where I felt completely helpless and stuck in my role in society, contributing every day to this unjust and inhumane world. This year, however, a few key points stuck with me from the speakers that we heard and challenged me to change the way I view things and the way I interact with the world. I know that I have been guilty of removing myself from painful events happening throughout the world. I have never been directly affected by the inhumane immigration laws, food insecurity issues, or a natural disaster. When these events occur, I have a difficult time placing myself in the shoes of others and feeling what they must be feeling. This lack of empathy often is a source of personal shame and guilt. Oftentimes it is hard for me to connect an event with the face. However, when there is debate about fair minimum wages or arguments concerning domestic poverty, I feel the pain as my own. For the past 4 summers, I've worked and lived beside the people of rural West Virginia, and I've shared their struggles of finding employment, paying rent, and choosing between health insurance or food on the table. This weekend, I wondered why these issues struck such a chord in my heart, but talk about the Mexican border seemed to not faze me. One of the speakers this weekend, Sister Peggy O'Neill, spoke about recognizing the humanity in everything. She has been working in El Salvador for the past 25 years, directing an educational center that promotes peace through dance, art, and theological reflection. She has seen countless traumas in her work there, but this does not stop her tireless peace efforts. Sister Peggy said, "Maybe our world leaders need a baby on their laps while they are deciding their futures." When I heard this, I realized that maybe I needed a baby in my lap, so to speak, as well. I needed to see every issue as a societal practice made up of a group of people, each of them human, each of them someone's child, and each of them God's children. While Sister Peggy O'Neill did not deny the reality of a depressed and subjugated world, she challenged us to let our hearts break for others and to be moved by compassion and mercy. These words that I have heard throughout my whole life finally gained meaning this weekend as I let myself truly feel for the undocumented citizens of America, for the people standing outside the circle of compassion, and for all those affected by institutional oppression. Maybe I cannot change these cycles of poverty and injustice, but I do know now that I can stand in solidarity with these people and empathize with them just because we share a common bond of humanity. We follow Jesus because of his unconditional love for every human being. To be a true Christian means to recognize this humanity in everyone and to love our neighbors as ourselves, regardless of whether or not we have been in the same situation. Father James Martin, author and theologian, said that this celebration of humanity, this joy, is a foretaste of heaven. I have come to realize that by recognizing this divine humanity in everyone, we can build God's kingdom here on earth. And if we do that, these unjust systems and practices will be slowly destroyed by the surefire power of love and